Hi, again, this is Mr. Plum Thomas. We have a lot of issues to get resolved in a hurry. I'm all for the support the Workers' Bill of Rights, also women's rights to abortion. There is more things that we need to clean up as homelessness, garbage. I'm out there picking up the streets everywhere I go. I'm providing a service, community service. I love to do it. You can see me on every corner picking up garbage. I did it today. I don't have a problem with that because I've already retired twice. I don't have to do this. I want to. That's my choice. I was raised properly in Spokane. I don't know how, well, I know how to fix it. I'm marrying a billionaire and she wants to invest in me as I want to invest in her. I have my business, Palm Enterprises LLC. I said it before. To what benefit would it be for me to bring Palm Enterprises LLC also adding, hey, Palm Enterprises, us too? My family, we grew up very wealthy. In fact, I don't have to work another day in my life, but I choose to. I'm here because I love Olympia, Lacey, and Tumwater, but also Washington State. I got a plan that'll take our national debt to zero in 4 years. That's $35 trillion. Oh, by the way, litter buggers, ooh, they're gonna not like me. Anybody caught litter bugging, oh, be in trouble. But we got to fix all problems. Thank you.
We have quite a number of names and not as many bodies. So I'll try to move through this quickly. Comma Fitzgerald, followed by Julie Hustaff, followed by April Miller. Thank you.
Hi, my name is April Miller. I'm an Evergreen grad, minimum wage food service worker, and an organizer with Olympia DSA. You've heard from me before on this issue and a couple of others. I wanted to speak to you and those assembled to say that a lot of misinformation has circulated about the Workers' Bill of Rights. Every single piece of public information I have seen in opposition to these proposals has contained one or another piece of inaccurate information, from claiming the proposal is for an immediate jump to $24 an hour to claiming there will be no standard phase-in corresponded to what other cities have enacted. The actual content of what we are proposing in full is publicly available in the Olympian in their coverage so far. A victory for these proposals, wage parity with King County, predictable scheduling, safe staffing levels, and no unjust termination, will provide vitally necessary economic and social stability working people require for fiscal and civic engagement, encourage workers across our region to independently organize for their political and economic interests, and strike a blow against continued corporate attacks on the hard-fought gains workers and their unions have won over past decades. I was pleased to see flyers for the Workers' Rights Summit that launched this campaign in the window of a wide number of local businesses downtown, and hope that we can work from that precedent going forward. This is an agenda that we should all be able to get behind, and I am excited to keep fighting for it over the coming months. Never apologize for and never retreat from supporting policies in the interests of the working class. Thank you.
All right. Next we have Darby, followed by Alex, followed by Leslie Nelson.
That Darby and Alex are no longer.
Thank you. All right, so we have Leslie Nelson, Lizzie, and followed by Milo. All right, we'll go ahead and move on. We have Eric Callison, followed by Kent Markley. Okay. Uh, so we have Michael Whalen, followed by Izzy Charlop.
Izzy, left or right?
Okay.
Um, Thank you, Council, for allowing me to speak here today. My name is Michael Whalen. I am an organizer with United Food and Commercial Workers Local 367. We represent workers in 6 different counties. We organize and represent in industries from retail, grocery, and food processing. And shout out to everyone who has had the patience to wait to speak before and after me, because that is a key thing to learn in society. Well, I'm here to address misinformation around the Workers' Bill of Rights and hopefully open up the discussion around the misinformation and hopefully to quell some people's stressors that have been out in the ether here in Olympia. So first of all, I just want to say that there has been no call to raise the minimum wage to $24 an hour by January 1st. That is just false, not accurate, not true, not something that's being pushed. Our goal is not to kill small businesses, but we really want to open up the discussion and how we work together to bring about something, not necessarily imposing something on a community, something I heard this week that was impactful on me. And like you've heard earlier tonight, I don't want to belabor the points that so many workers have spoke about dealing with safety issues and scheduling issues. But the Workers' Bill of Rights is much more than just the minimum wage, but it's a workers' package that will create scheduling protections and safety protections for workers. And ultimately, you know, those protections and the minimum wage is not, we do not want to kill small businesses. We want to work together and have a discussion to build in this community and have low-income workers be able to purchase items, quality items from these small businesses. Thank you. And if you have any questions, I'm here to speak.
Thank you. Next we have Paul Thomason, followed by Dave Toller, followed by Isaac Wagnate. They're both excused. Thank you. All right, so we have Ryan Schmeltz, followed by Tucker Rispecki.
Thank you. My name is Ryan Schmautz with the Washington Federation of State Employees, Local 443, and the Thurston Lewis Mason Central Labor Council, and I support the minimum wage increase and the Workers' Bill of Rights. Every working person here has been hit very, very hard by skyrocketing inflation over the past several years in some way. Workers across Washington have responded in union battles for pay increases in spite of budget cuts in the public sector and private employers claiming that they have nothing else to give. We've had other unions that have gone on strike, and some of them have won double-digit pay increases as well. And this is a part of a broader trend that we're all seeing and we all know about, right? That people are fighting tooth and nail, not really to enrich themselves, but to simply keep their heads above the water as we threat to drown as the inflated costs for even the most basic essential goods are rising so high. We wouldn't have this campaign at all to begin with if this wasn't a widely felt and clear and present problem for thousands of people. There are or were employers here that were concerned with the prospect of paying the minimum wage workers more. To that, I say that this increase is not just modest, but that it's very, very sensible. There was an MIT research report last year that calculated that a single full-time employee in Olympia would need a living wage of approximately $24 an hour, and that is not what we are asking for. We are asking instead for minimum notices for schedule changes, the right of refusal for shifts without a minimum amount of rest hours, and a mere $4 increase to the current minimum wage here in Olympia. Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell has even gone on record claiming, quote, Seattle's minimum wage is a good thing for workers, a good thing for our overall economy, and something that we should take pride in. This is what the city of Olympia can be, a city of choice for working people, knowing that we not only fairly compensate people, but also that they enjoy more rights and protections from abuse. And that is why I, a former minimum wage worker and proud union member representing hundreds of minimum wage workers across Washington state, urge you to support the Workers' Bill of Rights tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have Tucker Rispecki, followed by Brian Schonefeld.
Thank you, Council. I am Tucker Jarapetsky, and I am a grocery clerk at the Lacey Fred Meyer. So The Workers' Bill of Rights won't affect me personally, but as a member of UFCW Local 367 and a delegate to the Thurston Lewis Mason Central Labor Council, the well-being of my fellow workers in my community is of the utmost importance to me. Their struggle is my struggle. And I've got to say, it's very frustrating seeing us barely scraping by and to be working ourselves to the point of burnout without ever feeling like we're getting ahead. There are all of these large national businesses that have set up shop here in town. Companies like Safeway, like Best Buy, like McDonald's, that have basically built pipelines to extract wealth from our communities. The Workers' Bill of Rights and increasing the minimum wage to a more sensible level, to a living wage, will help keep that wealth here in our community, in the hands of the workers who built it. And when the workers are thriving, as opposed to just barely scraping by, then our entire community thrives. The small businesses thrive. I can count on one hand the number of times that I've actually been able to treat myself to a little shopping spree downtown, and I still have fingers left over. And I'm sure that's the case for all of my fellow workers. They'd love to be able to go grab a slice at Old School without having to worry about, is this going to cause my check to bounce? So please, you've done the right thing before in supporting the Tenants' Bill of Rights. Now it's time to do the right thing again and support the Workers' Bill of Rights. Thank you.
Thank you. We have Brian Schonefeld, followed by Steve Beaker, followed by Paul Thomas.
Yeah, my name is Brian Schanefelt. I'm an Olympia resident, and I just want to thank the council members for staying this late for us, our labor leaders, and any other small business community member. Thank you all. I am here as a UFCW 367 member, but also a neighbor who deeply cares about the future of our community. The Workers' Bill of Rights is not just about fair wages, it's about building a stable and thriving Olympia where workers and small business alike can succeed. When workers earn enough to support their families, they spend locally. They invest in our small businesses and they build community and help ensure that our local economy is resilient. I understand the challenges that small businesses face, and I believe that a fair wage and fair treatment for workers do not have to come at the expense of small businesses. In fact, their wages can help small businesses. In fact, fair wages can help small businesses um, by increasing local spending power and fostering a loyal customer base. Large corporations with their significant resources have the ability to meet these standards without difficulty. By holding large businesses accountable for fair wages and stable working conditions, we can create a more level playing field for small businesses, allowing them to compete and thrive in a fair market. Together, we can create a city that sets a high standard for workers while fostering an environment where local businesses can flourish. I ask for your support in moving forward with this Bill of Rights. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Steve Beaker, Paul Thomas, followed by Chris Tucker.
All right, for the record, my name is Steve Beaker. I'm a rank and file member of UFCW 367, and I'm also a shop steward at Safeway. And I just wanted to say that if employers expect to be taken seriously as such, we need to be taken seriously as employees by being afforded the same considerations that they expect of us. And the Workers' Bill of Rights gives us some recourse in absence of that. I'm one of the fortunate few that makes more than the minimum wage based on experience, but the hours I receive offset that wage in such a way that I cannot be upwardly socially mobile without getting a second job, which would in turn retributively reduce my hours at my current job. How on earth am I supposed to move out of my in-laws' place or support my son like that? I'm not. Yeah, I believe that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Paul Thomas, followed by Chris Tucker, followed by Russell Kent. All right. We'll move on to Deb Keys, followed by Matthew Tronson, followed by Graham Chambers. Makes sense. We have Michaela Dawes, followed by Larry Lasmanois. I appreciate that we have such a supportive group here. So next we have Robert Dandy, followed by Tony Brooks. Okay.
Yeah, my name is Tony Brooks. I own two small businesses in Olympia. I've been a long time Thurston County resident, raised my family here, helped my son start a business in Olympia. My businesses are Brooks Blessings Adult Family Homes and Brooks Blessings Home Care LLC, also known as First Light Home Care of South Sound. We employ approximately 11 caregivers in the adult family home side, and on the other side, about 30 caregivers in the home care business. We do pay above minimum wage, and we've got a great crew. A lot of my employees have been with me for 5, 6, 7 years, so we do a good job. However, pushing the minimum wage up will affect my business because then I'll have to raise my wages. And we serve some of the most vulnerable people in Thurston County, people with dementia, people who have suffered a stroke, people who are suffering of old age or other ailments that requires them to have 24-hour care. In order for me to keep my business running, I'll have to raise the rates on those people. And they do not have the opportunity to look for work. They don't have the opportunity to pull other money out. Some of those people are on DSHS. We dedicate 4 of our 12 beds to serving those who are in DSHS, or there's a gap where you make more money so you don't qualify on DSHS, but you can't afford in-home care. So we use those 4 beds to serve that population as well. We also hire several single moms. One of them, I can't say their name, but they've been working for us for about 5 years, was kicked out of her home by her husband and is raising 2 kids on her own. That would be she's our caregiver of engagement, which is an ancillary luxury that we give to our residents. That would be that first job that I would have to cut. Also, 4 years ago, we'll have to stop right there. I would encourage the UFCW to work hard
Thank you,
for
Mr.
higher
Brooks.
wages, but go to your employer. Do not.
Thank you,
Mr.
Mr.
Brooks.
Brooks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you had more to share, please feel free to email us. That goes for everyone. At this time, we'll go ahead and move it to virtual. Kelly, is there anyone signed in for virtual? Oh, a patient virtual participant. It might be more efficient if when you get a chance, if you just tell me who is signed in.
I have Jesse Bradford on the list.
Okay. Anyone else?
Just a second. He's no longer there, but Rachel Martin. Rachel Martin is also on the list.
Okay, we'll go ahead and put forward Jesse and then Rochelle afterwards.
And Jesse's traveling. Oh, my screen go off.
Hello?
Hi, Jesse. We can hear you. When you're ready,
Okay.
go ahead and start.
Hi. Yeah, I'm here for supporting the Workers' Bill of Rights. I've been an Olympia resident again since 2022. I originally left in 2009. The work options were not great at the time, and I had to join AmeriCorps and leave the state. And I finally made my way back here, doing truck driving, but I am only home on the weekends, unfortunately. And I'm trying to transition out of trucking so I can actually be a part of this community properly instead of just a bystander. And by having a higher minimum wage and more viable work options that would make it so that I can do those things. Higher minimum wage also for business owners, it means you have a lot less turnover. It's extremely expensive having to retrain people and go through all of the rigmaroles of that. Um, College is more expensive than ever, and expecting people to go into debt when they're trying to survive is not a solution for getting people to have upward mobility. I've tried college twice, and I'm neurodivergent, and trying to make that work on top of working is next to impossible. So it doesn't matter what your job is, all work has value, all work needs to be done. And by paying people better and giving them consistent schedules and other worker protections that everybody deserves to have, will make it more sustainable and prevent people from becoming homeless because they can't afford to keep up with the housing costs. So I think that's all I have to say at the moment. And thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Jesse. So next we'll call forward Rochelle Martin, and then if we have anyone else in the queue. Okay.
Rochelle is traveling and Isaac is in the queue.
So, hi, everybody. My name is Rochelle Martin. I use she, her pronouns. I am the president of the Thurston Lewis Mason Central Labor Council. And I just want to thank everybody for staying for so long and speaking so passionately about the Worker Bill of Rights. Our council co-signed the letter that went to the City Council for consideration for the Bill of Rights. And we're very proud to work with all of the union locals in our area on this very worthy cause. So I don't want to harp on you about everything that everybody said. I really appreciate all of your time and your passion. And I think if we come out of this with anything, it's that it's very obvious that this conversation needs to continue. There's a lot of concerns on both sides, and we need to be honest with each other about what progress looks like. So thank you so much for all of your time and interest in making our community a better place. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have Isaac Wagnitz, and anyone else virtually, Kelly?
Isaac is traveling, and I'll check to see if anyone else showed up.
Thank you. Hi, Isaac. When you're ready, please unmute your mic and begin.
Sorry about that. Thank you, members of the council. My name is Isaac Wagnitz. I'm a member of UFCW Local 367. I'm a grocery cashier at the Fred Meyer in Tumwater, and I've lived in Olympia for a lot of years. I would also like to speak in favor of the Workers' Bill of Rights. I think a lot of the main arguments for it have already been made, so I don't want to repeat too much. But also per some of the concerns that are expressed, I I think the concern that you'll see like a mass extinction of small businesses or of small landlords when we do stuff like this is pretty unfounded. You know, plenty of other cities have tried to bring up their minimum wages to keep in line with the cost of living, and you just haven't seen that happen. So I think it's a little unfortunate that this hysteria gets whipped up every time we try to do something good for workers or for tenants because it just isn't borne out by what actually happens. You know, when Seattle raised its minimum wage, there were businesses that reported doing a lot better because there were, uh, you know, workers had more money in their pocket to spend on goods and services. And I do think it's a little unfortunate because I think it's big business that's kind of pushing this line that you have to, you know, squeeze people for everything they're worth to be successful, and but really depressing wages is only going to help big business eventually move in and crush small businesses. It's kind of given people the rope to hang themselves with. So I hope that people will take in mind that actually there's been a pretty positive experience with this in other cities that have done these kind of policies. Paying people a living wage, having predictable schedules, safe staffing isn't going to kill businesses. It's going to make the whole economy work better.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, we'll hand it back to the mayor.
Thank you very much, Mayor Pro Tem. So that concludes our public comment for this evening. I'm sorry, I do see some looks of confusion from the audience. So did you all not sign the appropriate public comment sheet? That's during public hearing. A public comment is different. Okay. So will you please raise your hand if you are in the room for public comment? Okay. So I'm going to grant that exception since you've waited and you are here. So let's go ahead and have you come forward one by one, and please introduce yourself with your name for the record. And just a reminder, you have 2 minutes for your comments.
Hi, again, this is Mr. Plum Thomas. We have a lot of issues to get resolved in a hurry. I'm all for the support the Workers' Bill of Rights, also women's rights to abortion. There is more things that we need to clean up. As homelessness, garbage. I'm out there picking up the streets everywhere I go. I'm providing a service, community service. I love to do it. You can see me on every corner picking up garbage. I did it today. I don't have a problem with that because I've already retired twice. I don't have to do this. I want to. That's my choice. I was raised properly in Spokane. I don't know how. Well, I know how to fix it. I'm marrying a billionaire, and she wants to invest in me as I want to invest in her. I have my business, Plum Enterprises LLC. I said it before. To what benefit would it be for me to bring Plum Enterprises LLC also adding, hey, Plum Enterprises, us too? My family, we grew up very wealthy. In fact, I don't have to work another day in my life, but I choose to. I'm here because I love Olympia, Lacey, and Tumwater, but also Washington State. I got a plan that'll take our national debt to zero in 4 years. That's $35 trillion. Oh, by the way, litter buggers, they're going to not like me. Anybody caught litter bugging, will be in trouble. But we got to fix all problems. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Mary. I have never known an economy taxed into prosperity. How many people here have actually ran a business? How many people have taken that risk to provide a job for someone else with little to no guarantee it's going to work? Why penalize job creation to members of our community by increasing the already highly taxed pressure that is already placed on those of us that take that risk versus those of us that are depending on someone to take a chance to open a business and offer us that job? Honey, what's the difference between an asset and a liability?
Asset puts money into pocket. A liability takes money out of pocket.
There's a children's story that basically some of you might recognize from a very famous author that was, translated for children. But a circus tent had a strong man, and that was the attraction to this circus event. And the strong man, he did so much work, and he would set up the tents, he would handle the really large animals, those really strong things. And then you had the clown, then the clown workers. And eventually, and the strong man, he ended up having, a special chef. He had all of these benefits. He got so much more service and pay than anyone else. And then the clowns and everyone around complained how they weren't being paid fairly, how they wanted to be just as well as the strong man. But what they didn't know is that the strong man used to be a skinny weakling. And he trained and mentored under the original strong man. And he built and he worked hard. And he did so much work. And when it is that strong man decided that he was not being granted and respected the work that he had put in all those years, he left, and all those clowns found out that there wasn't enough money and they weren't bringing enough in to support the circus and the personal chef and everything else, because they didn't develop the skill set that the strongman had earned. We got opportunity, America. We have choices. We can learn.
Thank you very much. Sir, please step forward and introduce yourself for the record.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jeff Wright. I was born and raised here in Olympia. I didn't plan on speaking tonight, but seeing the transition from when we recessed to our nice graphs up here and the swing of union versus small business versus maybe everything in between, it only further identifies that a single minimum wage to $21, $24 an hour based on these groups doesn't make sense. We have different skill sets, we have different lifestyles, we have different needs. We shouldn't be grading people on the curve, and that's what raising this minimum wage does. Earn your keep. If we have a problem with business owners or big businesses not managing people, then do that. This Bill of Rights is a step maybe in the right directions, but it seems more like unionizing our state. We have unions here. Deal with your unions to yourselves. Let the small business deal with ourselves. 25% increase is what we're talking about here. We have a 6% deficit. If I was hearing any of that right, what would happen if City of Olympia jumped their payroll up 25%? It'd be bankrupt. You'd close down. Bars are going to close down. Small businesses are going to close down. The union people are saying that if they'll make more, they're going to come to my store. Well, I'm going to be closed. You won't be able to come to my store because the goods I sell are available on Amazon, and they're more expensive for me because they're labor driven. So people are going to think they can get their plug and play stuff online and do it themselves, and they're going to get crummy alternatives. With that, I'll digress. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. And I see one more person is approaching the podium, and this will be our final commenter for this evening. Please introduce yourself for the record.
Good evening. My name is Carmen Kendrick. I own the Viking Lounge. I have 24 employees. I paid over $530,000 in wages last year. I have no employees who are receiving minimum wage, and they all have stable shifts, know exactly when they work, and everybody seems to be pretty happy working for me. With that, I implore you all not to take on this hike in minimum wage, because I have struggled through COVID, struggled through the increase of cost of goods that I sell at the bar. The prices would have to get jacked through the roof, and then the people who are fighting for a higher minimum wage wouldn't be able to afford to go out anyway. I would like to know if the city council has in place any thoughts or ideas on how to manage the increase in joblessness that you will see because of all the small businesses that will be forced to close their doors. It is a pipe dream to imagine that they would not. We could not sustain that. I know so many business owners who are struggling right now. And I started out as a bartender, and I bought the place 6 years ago. I don't have a boat. I don't have multiple boats. I have one car. It's not a Lambo. We are also just making it in the small business community, and to impose greater costs on us will cripple us. And then you will see nothing but the Safeways and nothing but the Albertsons and McDonald's. You won't have any small businesses to go to. You won't have any place to go and buy cute little trinkets because we won't be able to stay open. And so I implore you to think beyond what seems like the easy solution, because for us, it would just end us all. And Olympia would not be the city that we know now. It would be a big box company there would not be any more small business. I can assure you of that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So with that, that concludes public comment for this evening. I do just want to, on behalf of the council, express our gratitude to the community, all of you, regardless of the role you play in our community, for sticking around to share your perspective with the council this evening. We will be discussing this further on a study session on October 22nd. Again, that meeting does not consist of public comment, but you are free to come and watch the conversation, whether that be in person or online. However, there will be future business meetings where there will be a public comment section on the agenda, and you are free to return to share your thoughts. And that includes to the folks that had to leave early because they have to work. There's a little bit of an irony there, but we certainly would appreciate hearing from you in the coming weeks and months. So with that, thank you all for turning out tonight.
Hope you liked this video. Thanks for watching.